Welcome to another episode of Chad Sports Talk. You don't know, my name's Chad. Take a dive into sports. And welcome to my Week 7 NFL recap video where I go over last week's NFL action, provide some of my commentary, kind of how it panned off with my overall picks, and see if maybe I improved from a previous week. Or I'm just, think I'm just hitting my peak and just plateauing. Before I dive into all that, though, if you could go ahead and smash that thumbs up, especially like the content I provide you, really pleases you two guys. We help this channel out. You also subscribe. Love you guys review my work. Now, many of you subscribe. This costs you a dime. It helps me provide more attentive value for you. Once again, I went 9-5. And I think it was, as I'm continuing to mess with my microphone, very unprofessional of me. And I get a lot of these games right, and then there are some games I'm like, where did this come from? And some now I was like, just a yard away from winning. So let's just go ahead and dive into this mayhem. Let's go back to last Thursday night where you had the Saints and the Cardinals, and finally you had offense. You had scoring. You had touchdowns, something that's been missing on Thursday night the past 2 weeks. Andy Dalton was starting once again. He was still being very effective. I mean, he still has some great drives, but he also had a lot of big mistakes. And that really transpired at the end of the first half when he threw not one, but 2 pick sixes. That sparked Arizona Cardinals. I mean, the Arizona Cardinals were pretty much on the breaking point when Kingsbury and Murray, or more likely Murray, was shouting at Kingsbury. It was DeAndre Hopkins that kind of broke that up since his first game back for being suspended. And I don't know, that, and plus the defense stepping up, doing their thing, I think that's been the catalyst that the Arizona really needed to kind of go wake up. Because they routed off 42 points. Kyler Murray was being very effective. The defense stepped up when they had to, making key interceptions on Andy Dalton, which he tends to do. But he still had a very good game. He had 361 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's still being effective. They're still trying to get out there. The fourth quarter, they tried to get back in that game, but it was too much early. Especially those 2 pick sixes at the end of the first half. That was all Arizona needed. Ended up winning 42-34. Start my week off with a W. Off to the jungle, the Cincinnati, where they played host to the Falcons, and the offense of Cincinnati was clicking. Joe Burrow had a phenomenal passing day, 481 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase got in the action. Tyler Boyd got in the action. He had 155 yards. Mixon, not very effective on the ground because it was an aerial attack by the Bengals that really just set the pace. Atlanta really had not too many answers. I mean, they did rattle 17 points in the second quarter to kind of make it a game at 28-17, but that was it. That was the only quarter they scored any points. The defense stepped up, but the offense couldn't capitalize on anything. And Cincinnati just cruised to a 35-17 victory. Then we had to Big D, where the D stands for Dak, and that's right. Dak made his return to the starting lineup, taking over for Cooper Rush, who did a phenomenal job in his replacement, by the way. And it was because the team effort all around was doing quite well. And as you would expect, Dak was rusty. Of course he's going to be rusty. He's been out 4 weeks. 5 weeks, actually. So he's definitely going to be rusty. And the perfect team to do it against is Detroit, but Detroit's defense flipped the script. They were the ones being very, very good, pressuring Dak Prescott, making those throws even looking worse than what they should be. Hutchinson's actually living up to the hype of being, one of the top picks in the NFL draft. Jared Goff was actually doing pretty good himself. But they couldn't really make much connection. I mean, it was a 6-3 halftime lead for Detroit. But after that, it was nothing but Dallas. And the thing that killed Detroit a lot was turnovers. They were turning over the ball way too much. I mean, they were making this great drive. They're on like the 1 yard line. First and goal, run it in, fumble. He fumbled as soon as he hit the line of scrimmage. Dallas recovered. That just deflated Detroit there on out. You can see that in Campbell. He was like, what the hell do I have to do to get this team to buy in and actually start winning and start doing the things they need to do so we can get away from the moniker of the Motor City Kitties and become the Detroit Lions. I don't know. Goff threw 2 interceptions himself. I mean, it was just 5 turnovers in that second half that just decimated Detroit. Now, Detroit didn't throw the ball. I think it'd be a different story, but the woes of the Lions continue, and the Cowboys are able just to be effective, maintain a steady pace, win 24-6, and we'll see what happens with Dak next week. We head down to Nashville, where the Titans are playing host to the Colts, and the Colts, I don't know what they have to do. Matt Ryan should really provide some spark. Should have. I mean, he did end up having 243 yards passing and a touchdown. But not having the time to really do much with that. His offensive line is, so much full of holes. Swiss cheese is looking at it and you going, what? There's no running attack. The defense has kind of lost some of its teeth. Maybe Eberflus took, his dentures with him when he went to Chicago. There's just something wrong with his Indianapolis team, and I don't know what could happen. But Matt Ryan has been benched now. He's not the starter for next week. So it's going to go from bad to worse for Indy fans. Nashville was just being effective enough. Derrick Henry had over 100 yards rushing, which he needs to do on a continuous basis for them. It helps balance out the offense. Defense did what they had to do, forcing 3 turnovers of the Colts, and Tennessee won 19-10. Then we head to D.C. For one of the games, I definitely did not see going the way it did. Washington, Carson Wentz is on the IR at least for 4 weeks. So once again, we have to go to his backup. Where have we heard that familiar story before? I don't know, Philadelphia? And Nick Foles got a trophy outside of the stadium because he won the Super Bowl? No, the Commanders are not going to the Super Bowl winning it. I'm just burst that bubble. But Tyler Heinicke is not a bad backup to have. I think he's also been a starter before, so he is very familiar with how this offense runs. He was efficient. That's all you had to be. He had over 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. That's really all you have to be with Tyler Heinicke, is being efficient enough. Green Bay, I don't know. It's just a mixed bag when it comes to the Packers. They'll have some plays to do really good because they did get 2 touchdowns in that first half. And their defense held Washington 10 points. They look pretty, somewhat in control, but once again, they just couldn't get anything going. Green Bay was driving at the end. They were down 23-21. Trying to make a play. Incomplete. That was it. Washington hangs on to beat Green Bay to get the Packers their 3rd loss in a row. Beat them 23-21. Who would have thunk that? Then we head to Charlotte, where you expect Tampa Bay to kind of rebound and reset themselves because Carolina's a complete mess. Head coach is fired. McCaffrey's been traded. Another receiver's been traded. They're down to the 3rd-string quarterback. Should be easy pickings. Sorry I forgot to tell that to Carolina because I certainly didn't have any faith in them. The Panthers just went in there and decimated Tom Brady. You knew it was going to be a bad game when Mike Evans, wide open, could not come up with the ball from Tom Brady right in his hands. Literally right in his hands. You see him just bobble it, and it goes in there. I mean, he had the touchdown. From that play on, Tampa Bay was out. Done. They could not do anything. They got gimme points in the fourth quarter. That's how bad it was. I mean, the score was low enough, and you're like, okay, it's a little bit closer. Carolina had Tampa Bay's number all day long. Buccaneers defense couldn't stop the run. Foreman had over 100 yards rushing. They allowed 3 touchdowns. I mean, it was just a poor showing of the Buccaneers. I don't know. There's something definitely wrong in Tampa Bay. I don't know if it's Tom Brady not being there. I don't know if it's the head coach not doing their job. I don't know if the coordinators not doing their job. The defense not stepping up. The offensive line we already knew had issues. The receiving corps is kind of depleted. I mean, there's so many problems right now in Tampa Bay, it's hard to really point where to fix the issue. At least for Green Bay, you can go, okay, I have 2 good running backs I can fall back on, and they're not using them. Go back to that. If it stops your run, then maybe you can start, find a receiver that Aaron Rodgers can like. Tampa Bay has a decent running back. They have decent receivers. As Mike Evans is up there. I mean, Florida, like I said, the run game's there, but they have no offensive line. Tom Brady can't do everything himself, and it's going to be a long season for Tampa Bay. The only things helping them out is they're playing in one of probably the weakest divisions in the NFL. But Carolina ended up winning 21-3 and kind of shocking everything. Then we head down to Jacksonville, where you had the Giants coming to town, take on the Jags. And this one, I kind of went against the Giants. I was like, okay, maybe the bubble is going to burst on this game. Because Jacksonville's shown signs that they could be a very competent team. Peterson's really got this team, flowing in the right direction. Trevor Lawrence is starting to become a more savvy quarterback a little bit. He had 310 yards passing. And it kind of went back and forth on this one. It's really a game about the running backs. Between Saquon Barkley and Tene. I mean, it's just those 2 guys are just battling back and forth, doing what they had to do for their teams. Establishing the run. The defenses were just, making the plays when they had to, for the most part. And at the half, it was 13-11. Then 17-11 into the fourth. A really high-scoring baseball game. And the Giants, Daniel Jones being a very effective quarterback. Is he a franchise quarterback? I'm not 100% sold he's a franchise quarterback, but he's an effective quarterback, get him the right circumstances. Remember, this is his 3rd head coach now. This is the best he's looked. Maybe it's Daboll, because you look what he did with Josh Allen. Josh Allen was a raw talent coming out of Wyoming going to Buffalo, and look at him now. He's one of the premier quarterbacks of the league right now. Do I think Jones could get to that point? No. He won't be at Josh Allen level. He'll be at Daniel Jones level, and he'll be a very competent quarterback. You give him the target. You give him receivers to catch a damn ball. His numbers could be through the roof right now. And that's part of the problems with the Giants. They don't have receivers to catch it. Then you got to try and think, okay, in the offseason, what are we going to do about his contract, Barkley's contract? I mean, there's just so many different things you got to worry about in the offseason. But at the present point in time, they're doing phenomenal. Now, the fourth quarter, Jacksonville's driving, and the Giants' defense kept giving them more opportunities. Kept making penalties. They created first downs. Like every penalty they had was automatic first down. I mean, it was just ridiculous that the GM kept giving Jacksonville the opportunity to win that game. Trevor Lawrence made the pass. Caught pretty much at the 1. If there was not... The receiver jumped up, caught the ball, and he was going backwards when he received it. If there was not a safety there between him and the goal line, the Jaguars would have won that game. But there's 3 Giants around this receiver, which, why Trevor Lawrence went to him instead of someone else, I don't know. But because there's 3 G-men there, they were locked them down, shut them down, and tackle them at the 1-yard line. That was it. Time expired. Giants hold on to beat the Jags and give me my 3rd loss. Then we head down to Baltimore. We had a key AFC North divisional clash between the Browns and the Ravens. And this one lived up to a slugfest between these 2 teams. The Browns jumped out early, getting up 10 points, taking a 10-3 lead after the end of the first. Baltimore battled back, took a 3-point lead heading into the halftime. Still kind of battled back and forth. I mean, they exchanged touchdowns and field goals in the second half, but it was the Baltimore defense actually held on. And that's been part of the problem in the fourth quarter is the Baltimore defense gives up. They didn't today. They stepped up to the plate. I think it was a game-tying field goal that got blocked, and Baltimore was able to hold on to beat Cleveland 23-20 to put them pretty much on tie for the top spot in the AFC North. Then we went into Mile High, where the Jets coming into town to take on the Broncos. Wilson was benched because of injuries, so Rippo made a start. And it's just an ugly game. Really was. Denver's defense actually kind of showed up, somewhat been productive on this aspect. But Breece Hall had a nice 62-yard touchdown. But unfortunately now he got injured in that one, pretty much out for the season, which kind of hampers the Jets' running attack, which would then hamper Zach Wilson's playing ability. But then you look at the defenses, they were doing what they had to do. I mean, it was a 10-9 halftime Jets lead. It didn't look back after that one, but it was a low-scoring affair. I mean, depending on how you look at it, the offenses look horrible, the defense looks really good, depending on which side of the coin you want to be on this one. They were doing pretty much everything they had to do for defensive-wise with the bend don't break philosophy. So there were still players still had some stats. Losing Breece Hall for the Jets really hampered their offensive numbers. So they had a hard time kind of reestablishing themselves because they don't have that running threat. So, but the Jets still end up winning 16-9, proving to 5-2 so far in the season, and a surprise by both New York teams right now. They do better than the baseball teams. Then we have to Vegas, where the Raiders were playing host to the Texans. Both teams come there with 1 victory, which means someone's going to leave with 2. And it was Mills was being very efficient quarterback. Over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Definitely better than Derek Carr. I mean, it was just the passing attack for the Raiders right now should not be where it's at. It's down here. That should be way up here. It's not nowhere near that level. The Carr-Adams connection has not developed yet. Has not rekindled from the old Fresno State days. And I don't know how much more time they're going to need, but Vegas needs these guys to connect and really start turning up the league. Jacobs' performance is another key factor in that aspect. He had over 140 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns. He was the reason why the Raiders won today, reason why the Raiders won that day. It wasn't because of Carr-Adams connection, because he only had 95 yards, no touchdowns. So either defenses are focusing on Adams, and Carr can't find anyone else to throw to. But I think if Jacobs can start be more effective on the running attack, maybe to get more effective in the passing attack. But 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter was all that the Vegas needed. They beat the Texans 38-20 to get their second win of the season. Then we head to L.A. and the Chargers are playing host to the Seahawks. And the Seahawks found themselves a nice running back. Kenneth Walker III had almost 170 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. I mean, it was just, he was phenomenal in that background. Geno Smith has resurrected his career. He's not going to light up the stat sheets. He's just a very effective quarterback when given the correct weapons, be very effective. Now, not having DK Metcalf kind of help, but he still have Lockett. So he still has a receiver he can trust. He has a running back that can really, open up the defense for him. He's a capable quarterback. Now for the Chargers, with all the talent they have on that team, there's no reason why they should be where they're at. They had no answers whatsoever. Seattle came out there and just smacked them right away with 17 points in the first quarter. Went up 24-14 and a half. Never looked back. The Seahawks went in there and just manhandled the Chargers. I mean, beat them at their own game, beat them 37-23. Gave me my 4th loss of this week. And Seattle looks like a real threat right there in the NFC West, but who knows who's going to win what? I mean, it's wild right now. Then we head out to Santa Clara, since that's where they technically play at. And McCaffrey was making his debut with the 49ers. And everyone's looking at it, it's like, well, now look at what the 49ers have. They have Kittle tight end, they have Deebo Samuel, they get McCaffrey in the backfield, Jimmy G quarterback. This should be a very good offense. And then the defense should be pretty good because they also have one of the Bosa's on that side. And in the beginning part of this game between the Chiefs was pretty good. I mean, they're exchanging blows back and forth. I mean, even though you get more touchdowns from the Chiefs than the 49ers, but 49ers had more scoring plays. And it was 14-13 Chiefs lead at the half. Then something happened. The Chiefs came out in the second half and just took it to the 49ers. There was no question about it. Mahomes had over 420 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Juju Smith-Schuster became the number 1 target for Patrick Mahomes. He had almost 125 yards and a touchdown. They rattled off 30 points in the second half to include safety. One of those was a safety. No, Jimmy G didn't pull up another Olavsky. He didn't step in the back of the end zone. Someone got tackled. 49ers offense went inert. They'll get 10 more points, and the Chiefs just rolled in their Super Bowl rematch with the 49ers, beat them 44-23. And Kansas City looks like a really, really scary team out there in AFC. So it's going to make the AFC playoffs look really, really good. Then Sunday night, we're down there in South Beach with Miami playing host to Pittsburgh. Celebration, the 50th anniversary of their undefeated season. The only NFL team ever to do that. Playing host to the Steelers, of course, the team that was their arch rival in the 70s. And it was the return of Tua. He was being himself. He was able to make some, edge out and scramble on the side, making throws like it should be. When the opening drive went for a touchdown like that. But then the defense of the Steelers switched and contained more of Miami. And they couldn't do anything. I mean, at the half, it was 16-10. The second half, it was all defense. There was nothing that could have been done. They were just able to hamper the Steelers' defense was able to hamper the Miami's offense to not allow them to score anymore. Miami's defense was pretty much on point for almost the entire game, including a last drive at the fourth quarter. Kenny Pickett was driving. The team was moving. There was a chance for them that they actually could go in there and score and win the game. But a tip-toe interception by the Dolphins right there at the goal line, but he's able to find himself back falling into the end zone. Sealed the deal. The Dolphins hold on to win in a defensive second half, 16-10, to be 4-3 in the season, and moving the possibility of the first losing season under Tomlin a reality. Then Monday night, we had to Foxborough, where the Bears came to town, and return of Mac Jones. Yeah, this game, I did not see this game going the way it did. I'm happy it went that way, mind you. I definitely did not see it go this way. I didn't think the Bears knew how to handle Justin Fields, how to make him a more efficient quarterback, to actually utilize his talents. Maybe that extra time, that abysmal performance against Washington, and that little extra time, maybe they find ways to finally come up with a game plan. And they did. Justin Fields became more mobile, utilizing his legs more, which exactly what he did in college. Basically what, Tua and Lamar are. In essence, pretty much what Patrick Mahomes is. Josh Allen, Dallin Jones are also a couple quarterbacks that actually can move as well as Kenny Pickett. And that seems to be the modern quarterback in that right now, is a quarterback that actually can move with his legs as well as hit you in the air. Now, it wasn't a perfect aspect by the offense at all, but it's definitely a vast improvement to counter a weakened front line and be able to kind of utilize the assets you have to make the best of it. Now, when Mac Jones came back and he's having some issues, especially, throwing an early pick, he got benched and Zappe came back. And when Zappe came back, he ended up scoring two great plays where he ended up, getting 14 points to put the Patriots ahead early in the second quarter, 14-10. The Patriots fans were getting happy. It went 20-14 at the halftime. The Bears lead. The Bears are doing just enough. Fields was making plays, like I said, in the air and on the ground. He had 82 yards and a touchdown on the ground himself. They're doing just enough, and the Bears defense stepped up, which is something that's been kind of missing a little bit. And the secondary were making key interceptions. And the Bears actually had rattled off 23 unanswered points. Put that there. 23 unanswered points. New England couldn't get out of their own way, it seemed like. And Chicago's defense stepped up, did what they had to do. They were actually picking off passes. They had one towards the end of the game that could have went in for a touchdown, but he got pushed out. They didn't score the touchdown. They just went, okay, 4th and goal, take a knee, give it back to New England. They just take a knee in the game. And that was it. Chicago went into Foxborough, and I would say upset the Patriots, 34-14. Definitely a game I didn't see coming. And that was my 5th loss. Now, a Bears fan, I didn't pick the Bears, but, it is what it is. But there you go. There's my recap. Like I said, I went 9-5. That Monday night game, even though I was happy the Bears won, I definitely didn't pick them. So, kind of a mixed reaction on that one. But, hey, let me know down below which game surprised you the most. For me, it's definitely the Carolina-Tampa Bay game. I didn't expect Carolina to actually just take it to the Bucs like that. How's your team doing so far? Are they have any opportunities of making a playoff run? Or do you think their season is done? Just let me know down in the comments below. While you're there, you can also hit the thumbs up once again. You can also share this video with your friends and family. It helps this video out. Once you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell. That will let you know next time I post any more content on my channel. And I will see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.